Hello, my friends. D.L. Anderson here. Welcome back to Transformation by Truth podcast as we share the truth concerning these last days and what you must do to save yourself from the violent times that are just ahead. Today's podcast is a word of truth accounting of the end times. The end is coming. The end is near. Today's podcast is entitled End Times 170, No Time to be Raptured. The podcast objectives are reveal why many will be left behind in these last days, reveal how you can find great success in these last days, analyze the importance of establishing a baseline of truth, and preview the next series of lessons in this end time series. This lesson contains timelines and other visuals. Therefore, if you are listening to the podcast, I advise you to watch the video version on our website or YouTube, or request a PDF of the lesson so you can add the visual effect. Missed the mark. Now, first things first. In the most recent series of podcasts, we achieved two primary goals. One, we proved the rapture theory is a false doctrine. And two, we revealed what it means to be taken and what it means to be left. Now, it was necessary for me to achieve these two goals early in this end time series and to confirm these matters with accurate interpretations of the word of truth. It is for this cause, which I trust you will always remember. There are more errors evolving from the rapture theory than any other false doctrine concerning these last days. Therefore, a comprehensive understanding of end times must include an exposition of the rapture theory. And this exposition must occur in the beginning. It must be situated at the start. This is why I have introduced it during these 100 level courses. Trust me, if you cannot see the fallacy of the rapture theory and its residual defects, you will not see the truth concerning these last days. And yet, despite the evidence I have provided against the rapture theory, many will yet hold on to it. As I said before, these individuals were never trying to ascertain the truth. Their goal was simply to harden their position and their belief in a lie. Alas, this will be their downfall, for you cannot obtain the seal of Elohim and believe a lie. Remember, the seal of Elohim contains two key ingredients, spirit and truth, and you cannot have one without the other. Therefore, by refusing to accept the truth, these individuals are refusing to be led by the Spirit. And who is that man or woman who possesses the ability to navigate through these last days, these terrible days, without the faculties of the Spirit? Trust me, they don't exist. What exists is a dividing line which they will not pass, for they have missed the mark. And thus, they will not be taken. Rather, they will be left behind. Find the season. Now, the question is this: understanding how missing the mark will result in endless death, how can you make sure you don't miss the mark? The answer: by establishing a baseline of truth for these last days. Now, if you've been paying attention, you understand that we have already achieved this goal. To wit, by using the word of truth to understand the 7 seasons and these last days, we have established a baseline of truth. Per the timeline below, every end times event that we have seen and will see in these last days falls into one of the 7 seasons below. And again, here are the 7 seasons: the restoration of the nation of Israel, the sealing of the set apart ones, the sifting of the nations, the destruction of Mystery Babel, the day of Yahuwah, the restoration of the land of Israel, and the battle of Armageddon. Now, in doing so, every event is perfectly aligned and consistent with the overarching objective of the season it is in. This, my friends, is the primary way we are able to ensure that we don't miss the mark. All we have to do is use this timeline to prove each matter. Now, for an example, let us consider the rapture theory, which we have recently debunked. Observing the timeline below, in which season would there be a rapture? Logistically and logically speaking, when would it occur? What season would it be aligned with? Where does it make sense? The answer is sure, and we have already found it. There is neither purpose nor place for a rapture in these last days. It didn't happen in season 1 because we are still here. It won't happen in season 2, for a rapture contradicts the purpose of the seal. Vis-a-vis, to be raptured is within and of itself a type of seal. It follows the same spiritual model. And if you would receive it, one of the many residual defects of the rapture theory is the false provision of an alternative to the seal of Elohim. In effect, those who believe in a rapture are, oft unknowingly, forfeiting the seal of Elohim. And when the rapture doesn't happen, they will still be here, and they will not be protected. Going further, the rapture won't happen in seasons 3, 4, or 5 because the purpose of the seal is to guard us in these seasons. This truth begs the question: how can the seal guard us if we're not even here? Are you noticing the slippery slope we are on? Likewise, the rapture will not happen in season 6, for the purpose of this season is to restore us in the land of Israel, a garden paradise in the midst of the apocalypse sphere, a desolate earth. This truth begs the question: how can we be restored in the land of Israel if we are not even in the earth? This brings us to season 7. It goes without saying that a rapture will not happen in this season either, for the word of truth reveals that we will witness this battle. Our loving master is coming to save us. And how can he save us again if we're not even here? This concludes my case concerning the truth that there is no time in these last days for us to be raptured. This is precisely why I use the rapture theory as an example to show how simple it is to prove if an event will occur in these last days. All you have to do is find the season it will fall into. And if there is no season, then you know you are dealing with a false doctrine. A baseline of truth. Now, this matter reveals the vast importance of understanding the 7 seasons in these last days. As it is the baseline of truth, we would be sorely lost and struggling to make our way through great darkness without it. This is precisely why the religious world is divided on this crucial topic and filled with countless end times doctrines, theories, errors, and lies. It is because they are attempting to understand this complex topic apart from a baseline of truth. Therefore, the only possible result is division and confusion, neither of which are of Elohim. 1 Corinthians 14:33. For Elohim is not the author of confusion, but of peace, as in all the assemblies of the set apart ones. Not only this, but it is also the desire of Elohim that we are indeed chosen. And the sign that will follow those who are being chosen is unity in spirit and unity in truth. Ephesians 4:1-16. I call upon you, therefore, I, the prisoner of the master, to walk worthy of the calling with which you were called, with all humility and meekness, with patience, bearing with one another in love, being eager to guard the unity of the Spirit in the bond of peace, one body and one Spirit, as you also were called in one hope of your calling, one Master, one faith, one immersion, one Elohim and Father of all, who is above all and through all and in you all. And he himself gave some as emissaries, and some as prophets, and some as evangelists, and some as shepherds and teachers, for the perfecting of the set apart ones, for the work of the ministry, for the edification of the body of the Messiah, until we all come to the unity of the faith and of the knowledge of the Son of Elohim, to a perfect man, to the measure of the stature of the completeness of Messiah, so that we should no longer be children, tossed and borne about by every wind of doctrine, by the trickery of men, and cleverness, unto the craftiness of leading astray. But maintaining the truth in love, we grow up in all respects into him who is the head, Messiah, from whom the entire body, joined and knit together by what every joint supplies, according to the working by which each part does its share, causes growth of the body for the building up of itself in love. Now, there is indeed a great deal I could say about this passage, and yet I will simply state that this amazing unification of the set apart ones is happening right now. It is one of the many miracles occurring in this season. That is the sealing of the set apart ones. Trust me, the sealing could not happen any other way. For as Elohim is not the author of confusion, he cannot seal or authenticate a body of diverse believers, especially when many of these believers are not walking in truth. Rather, they are believing a lie. For this cause, the Father has led me to center the remainder of this end time series on one central theme: unity. My work is to unify the chosen elect with the baseline of truth the Father has revealed to me. In doing so, we, the chosen elect, will not only be unified in our knowledge, we will also be unified in our preparations for enduring the difficult seasons ahead. Remember, there will not be many safe spaces in the earth after the current season ends. And without this unification of spirit and truth, you will not find one. For it is not within a man to order his own steps, especially in the days we are about to see. For this cause, I will share a few final podcasts to close out the 100 level courses to prepare you for the 200 level courses which are to follow. After which, we will spend the remainder of this end time series executing a deep dive into the 7 seasons in these last days as we analyze the 1,000 plus scriptures I use to establish this timeline, a baseline of truth to govern our understanding of these last days. Now, here is the final word. I trust you can see a useful device for any manner of complex travel is a compass indeed. Thanks be to the Most High. This is what we have been given, and this is what we must share. Remember, this season is all about unity. Once it ends, the trees will have fallen, and every man and woman's fate will be sealed. And thus, this is the last call. Whatever truth you choose to believe, I caution you to choose wisely, for your choice will have eternal life and death implications, and your choice will be final. Now, here is today's assignment. Meditate on the word you have heard today and ask the Father to reveal the truth to you. Remember, where there is no conviction, there can be no faith. And without faith, it is impossible to please Him. Next, if the Spirit is leading you and you have not signed up for our mailing list, you can go to www.transformationbytruth.com to sign up today. We'll alert you as soon as podcasts are posted, and we'll share our presentations, notes, and other materials at no cost. It is for your edification. And most importantly, you will be connected to me and those who have joined themselves to this ministry as we prophesy and align current events with the prophetic word. These discussions are taking place outside of this podcast ministry. Therefore, if the Spirit is leading you, and only if the Spirit is leading you, I encourage you to come and see. You will be in good spiritual company. Lastly, if you have any questions, please submit them via our contact form on our website. If you have any comments, please share those on the video page for this podcast, also on our website. Now, here is what's next. We completed today's podcast, End Times 170, No Time to be Raptured. And the next podcast is End Times 180, Understanding the Word of Prophecy, Part 1. I will post this podcast on Monday, June 5th, 2023. Until then, my friends, continue to be led by the Spirit of Elohim, continue to watch, continue to pray, continue in fasting, and most of all, continue to be focused, for the end is coming. The end is near.